Sorry, baby. Alright, this is FSD, what is it, 12.2.1 or 13.2. Or 12.2.7. I've only had this one for a couple of days, and I've noticed that it's had issues with that in the past, where it backs out and then it can't find its way forward, so you gotta take over.
Hi, welcome back to McDonald's. Will you be using our mobile rewards app today?
Yep.
What's the code?
It's JE65.
For what?
That's it.
Is everything I screen correct?
Yep.
Okay, pull up to a first one.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you.
Taking the heat for it. You take the heat for it. So people are going, look at poor Donald Trump. He's sitting there. He's not even a... No, he knows exactly what he's doing. Yeah. They're saying, all right, Musk, this is like a lot of heat coming in here. You take it.
Yeah, a Trump advisor told me just last week, the story that I wrote, that Trump's okay with, for now anyway, with Musk getting attention because Musk is playing useful role. He's the fall guy. Yeah. He's taking the blame. Trump's able to stay above the fray with some of these unpopular decisions that Musk and team are making.
By the way, when things go bad, when cancer research is caught, when University of Alabama has to start laying off people, and Katie Britt is very concerned about it because we're going to have it. We're going to keep it, and we're going to make sure that there's going to be peace, and there's not going to be any problem. I can tell you about real estate. They're going to be involved with it.
King Abdullah saying Egypt will present a plan in response to the president's, who then suggested he won't withhold aid to either country.
I don't have to threaten with what we do. We contribute a lot of money to Jordan and to Egypt, by the way, a lot, to both. But I don't have to threaten that. I think we're above that.
Meanwhile, President Trump also doubling down on his threat.
Increase testosterone levels to help you feel stronger, leaner, with more muscle and drive. Nugenics is the #1 selling testosterone brand at GNC, but you can only get your complimentary bottle by texting BACK to 369-369.
Thanks. It'll make you feel like a new man. And by the way, she'll like it too.
Get your complimentary bottle of Nugenics now. Text BACK to 369-369. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenics Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free.
I told you this was going to be a good show. Admitted it was. All right, I'll see you again tomorrow, every night this week at 9 p.m. Eastern. But now it is time for The Last Word with Lawrence O'Donnell. Good evening, Lawrence.
Hey, Rachel, are you still on Blue Sky?
I am. You can find me on Blue Sky at nato.msnbc.com.
Yeah, this is the first night we haven't done that in a while, so I just want to make sure that people know that we are still there on Blue Sky and kind of enjoying it, to put it mildly.
You know who's newly on Blue Sky is Pete Buttigieg, who, as transportation secretary and as just a figure in public life and politics, has been so good at taking on particularly his critics and conservatives wherever they are. I had thought that might meant that he would just stay on Twitter, but now he's on Blue Sky and he's tearing it up on Blue Sky, and it's yet another reason that everybody should join Blue Sky.
All right, I got to follow him as soon as I finish this little piece of work I have to do here for the next hour. Thanks, Rachel. Thank you. Well, there was good Trump news from the Oval Office today. If this one thing that Donald Trump said is actually true. When Donald Trump complained about judges blocking his attempts to stop spending and rewrite the Constitution, a reporter asked if he would abide by the judge's rulings, to which Donald Trump, to many people's surprise, said, well, I always abide by the courts, and then I'll have to appeal it. That's the right answer. He gave the right answer, and he didn't stop there. He went on to say, the answer is, I always abide by the courts, always abide by them, and will appeal, but appeals take a long time. And that's the right answer. We can only hope that it is true. But if it is true, some of the talk you've been hearing about constitutional crisis has been premature, which is why I have not yet entertained the discussion of constitutional crisis on this program. If Donald Trump does actually defy a court ruling, then we will cover it then. But as of now, he's actually saying that he will always abide by court rulings. He could have given a more Trumpian answer like, well, we'll see. But he didn't. And that's it for the good news today. A king visited the Oval Office today. A real king, by which I mean a king who actually governs his country, unlike English kings who can't even govern their families. King Abdullah of Jordan had to sit in the Oval Office and listen to the absurdity of Donald Trump saying that he would take Gaza. King Abdullah knows that Donald Trump will not take Gaza. King Abdullah knows that everything Donald Trump said today about Gaza will not happen. Donald Trump will not take Gaza, he will not take Canada, he will not take Greenland, and he will not take Panama. That is the nonsense that Donald Trump throws out there to try to distract the news media from what he really is doing, which includes literally taking food away from starving babies, from starving children, starving grandparents. And the person who is helping him do that stood over Donald Trump in the White House today, thereby delivering a picture of presidential subservience, the likes of which we have never seen. The most powerless image of a president of the United States ever created by a camera. There it is. In that shot, Elon Musk is doing everything he possibly can to tell the world, without saying a word, that Donald Trump is not the boss of him. Donald Trump is the boss of the other adults in that shot, Stephen Miller and Will Scharf, and that's why they are following Donald Trump's lead on the dress code for the Oval Office, which is the same dress code that has existed for every previous president. Elon Musk owns suits and ties. We've seen him wearing them. But today he decided to do the billionaire thing. I met my first billionaire 25 years ago in Hollywood. It was at a fairly small reception in a private home during the Democratic National Convention in Los Angeles. I was wearing a suit and tie, as was every visitor from Washington in the room. The editor of Time magazine was one notch more casual, wearing a blue blazer and gray slacks and a necktie. The show business billionaire was wearing a t-shirt. Everyone knew that he was the richest person in the room, and he knew they knew. And that meant he could wear whatever he wanted. He could dress like he just walked out of a TV writer's room. And so I saw then that the billionaire power move was being underdressed, violating the dress code, and knowing that you can do it because clothes don't make the man, money makes the man. And today Elon Musk decided that he wanted to outdo all of his fellow tech billionaires who frequently show up in t-shirts, and so he violated another norm of business meetings at the White House and business meetings in a lot of places by bringing one of his 11 children. It was like bringing a dog to the home of a person who hates dogs. And we all know how much Donald Trump hates dogs. His favorite line in publicly announcing firings of people that he hired in the first Trump White House was, "I fired him like a dog." I don't know what that means. Dogs don't get fired. It can only mean that he hates dogs. Donald Trump had no trouble remembering the name of Elon Musk's child because it's the shortest name he's ever heard. Hello.
That's really good. Coming off it?
X, are you okay? This is X, and he's a great guy, high IQ. He's a high IQ individual.
All right, let's go full screen with these shots because I want to see everything that's in these frames at the White House, okay? The child was there as a power play by Elon Musk, demonstrating he can do whatever he wants in that room. When Donald Trump is your boss, you don't bring your kid into a business meeting with Donald Trump. And when Donald Trump is your boss, you don't talk more than Donald Trump in a business meeting with Donald Trump. Elon Musk spoke 3,666 words. Donald Trump spoke 2,487 words. Mike Pence never had a day like that in the Oval Office with Donald Trump. J.D. Vance will never have a day like that in the Oval Office with Donald Trump because Donald Trump is the boss of J.D. Vance. One thing Donald Trump always craved before he ran for president was the attention of the truly rich, virtually all of whom ignored Donald Trump as phony rich and vulgar rich. And now Donald Trump has the attention of the richest person in the world, the person who can literally bail him out of any financial difficulty, like the $85 million that he owes E. Jean Carroll pending his appeal of her successful lawsuit against him, and the $500 million that he owes the state of New York pending his appeal of the lawsuit New York Attorney General Letitia James won against Donald Trump. And we have no idea how much money may have already passed between Donald Trump and between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. We have no idea how dependent Donald Trump is.
So
on
definitely a
Elon Musk.
late-ass lane
There will
change.
probably
See if
never
it's
be a
actually
way to
going to
know.
make it.
Elon Musk and Donald Trump
Oh, I guess we're
proved
just
nothing of what they said in the Oval Office.
ignoring which
Given
lanes
their
are supposed to be
demonstrated
turn
comfort
lanes.
with public lying, everything they said about government waste in the Oval Office today, which had no specific details and no evidence, should be regarded as untrue unless and until proved true. As soon as they can show us the billions of dollars that Donald Trump called today a lot of billions, and Elon Musk called a trillion, as soon as they can show us any of that waste from abuse and prove it, I will congratulate them for finding that. But so far, they have found absolutely nothing because they have produced no evidence of what they claimed they found today. They did not mention a single name.
This is X, and he's a great guy, high IQ. He's a high IQ individual.
All right, let's go full screen with these shots because I want to see everything that's in these frames at the White House, okay? The child was there as a power play by Elon Musk, demonstrating he can do whatever he wants in that room. When Donald Trump is your boss, you don't bring your kid into a business meeting with Donald Trump. And when Donald Trump is your boss, you don't talk more than Donald Trump in a business meeting with Donald Trump. Elon Musk spoke 3,666 words. Donald Trump spoke 2,487 words. Mike Pence never had a day like that in the Oval Office with Donald Trump. J.D. Vance will never have a day like that in the Oval Office with Donald Trump because Donald Trump is the boss of J.D. Vance. One thing Donald Trump always craved before he ran for president was the attention of the truly rich. Virtually all of them ignored Donald Trump as phony rich and vulgar rich. And now Donald Trump has the attention of the richest person in the world, the person who can literally bail him out of any financial difficulty, like the $85 million that he owes E. Jean Carroll pending his appeal for a successful lawsuit against him, and the $500 million that he owes the state of New York pending his appeal of the lawsuit New York Attorney General Letitia James won against Donald Trump. And we have no idea how much money may have already passed between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. We have no idea how dependent Donald Trump is on Elon Musk. There will probably never be a way to know. Elon Musk and Donald Trump proved nothing of what they said in the Oval Office today. Given their demonstrated comfort with public lying, everything they said about government waste in the Oval Office today, which had no specific details and no evidence, should be regarded as untrue unless and until proved true. As soon as they can show us the billions of dollars that Donald Trump called today a lot of billions, and Elon Musk called a trillion, as soon as they can show us any of that waste, fraud, and abuse and prove it, I will congratulate them for finding that waste, fraud, and abuse. But so far, they have found absolutely nothing because they have produced no evidence of what they claimed they found today. They did not mention a single name of a single recipient of a single wasted dollar by the American government. They both tried to tell scary-sounding stories, corrupt-sounding stories, with Elon Musk referring to an unnamed woman who he claims gained a net worth of $30 million just while working for the federal government. And Elon Musk could not imagine how that could happen on a government salary. Now, let's just presume for a moment that there is such a woman whose net worth actually increased to $30 million while working for the federal government. Elon Musk said, we're just curious as to where it came from. Where does it come from? And I think the reality is that they're getting wealthy at the taxpayer expense. Everything about Elon Musk and Donald Trump's lying today resides in that statement. Elon Musk first asked the question of how could a woman possibly increase her net worth by $30 million while working on a government salary? Ask Melania Trump. Ask any one of Donald Trump's wives how you increase your net worth without earning the money. But Detective Musk on the basis of absolutely nothing, firmly believes that that mythical government worker, who I promise you does not exist and will never be found to exist, is, quote, getting wealthy at the taxpayer's expense. That's the detective solving the crime. And that is the way Detective Musk solves the crime. He just guesses. Watch what happened when Elon Musk began speaking. I'm going to put this on the screen, full screen, not because it matters what Elon Musk was saying, but because it reveals the essence of Donald Trump, and it reveals the power of Elon Musk. When the president speaks in the Oval Office, no one else does, except today. Elon Musk interrupted Donald Trump when Donald Trump was speaking, and Elon Musk's 4-year-old child spoke while Donald Trump was speaking. And nothing could demonstrate the power of Elon Musk more than his child speaking while Donald Trump was speaking. There's something important in what happened when Elon Musk's 4-year-old child actually moved toward Donald Trump. Watch this. Donald Trump did what no president before him would have done with that child. Here it is.
Elon, go ahead.
Sure. So, at a high level, you say, what is the goal of Doge, and I think a significant part of this presidency is to restore democracy. This may seem like, well, are we in a democracy? Well, if you don't have a feedback loop FX, you would have to, if you sorry. So gravitas can be difficult sometimes.
The child actually moves toward Donald Trump, saying something to Watch this. Donald Trump did what no president before him would have done with that child. Here it is.
Elon, go ahead.
Sure. So at a high level, you say, what is the goal of Doge, and I think a significant part of this presidency is to restore democracy. This may seem like, well, are we in a democracy? Well, if you don't have a feedback loop FX, you would have to, if you sorry. So gravitas can be difficult sometimes.
The child actually moves toward Donald Trump, saying something to him. And Donald Trump turns away. And you watch the child back off, knowing what just happened. What would Joe Biden have done? What would Barack Obama have done? What would George W. Bush have done? What would Bill Clinton have done? What would any president you've seen in that chair have done? Donald Trump turns away from the 4-year-old. And then when the 4-year-old continues to speak, Donald Trump reaches out to try to silence him. And he fails. No previous president ever once considered blocking food from being delivered to starving 4-year-olds in a famine, as Donald Trump and Elon Musk have done by stopping the United States Agency for International Development, the most important deliverer of famine relief in Sudan right now, where people are starving to death tonight. Many presidents have struggled to deliver food to hungry people in war zones, but they never gave up that struggle, no matter how difficult. How can a person feel nothing when taking food away from starving children, from starving people? That's what I've been wondering about Elon Musk and Donald Trump since they decided to do that, since they decided to snatch that food away from children. And so when I watched Donald Trump in the Oval Office today, I wondered, how can a person feel nothing when a 4-year-old approaches him? Who turns away from a 4-year-old approaching him? Your friend's 4-year-old comes walking towards you, saying something to you, and you turn away? Have you ever done that? Have you ever seen anyone do that? The 4-year-old speaking to you, maybe it's in church, maybe it's somewhere where you don't want the kid to be speaking, maybe it's a funeral, no matter where it is. And yes, even in the Oval Office, you do not turn away. No one does. You can't turn away. Donald Trump and Elon Musk have both decided to turn away from the starving children of Sudan and the starving adults in Sudan. And they were not asked a single question about that today in the Oval Office by the very well-behaved White House press corps, who did no yelling, as they always did in the Biden Oval Office. Elon Musk claimed that we are actually being governed by what he called, quote, an unelected fourth unconstitutional branch of government, which is the bureaucracy, and that, of course, is a lie. The people he is talking about are members of the executive branch, not their own branch, the executive branch of government. And they have been hired the same way they have been hired in the executive branch of government since long before Elon Musk was alive. Elon Musk insisted, without proving it, that the United States Treasury pays recipients who are on the do not pay list. It was the job of David Lebrick, who Donald Trump forced out of the Treasury, to make sure that no one on the do not pay list was paid. And he was enforcing that. And there isn't the slightest shred of evidence that Elon Musk has found a single improper payment by the United States Treasury to any person or entity anywhere in the world. If Elon Musk had evidence today, he would have put it on the Oval Office desk. That was the place to reveal it. Put it right there, show it to the world. If Elon Musk had no previous record of pathological public lying, we still wouldn't trust the kinds of claims he is making today without proof, without names, without dates, without facts of any kind. Elon Musk did reveal today that he has been examining Social Security payments. That means he has access to information about every single American citizen, including babies born this week. In his examination of those precious and private Social Security records, Elon Musk claimed today, we've got people in there that are 150 years old. Now, I don't know what that sentence means, but maybe he was trying to say that he found some Social Security recipients, because he says people, so more than one, who are 150 years old. That would have been so easy to prove today. It would be so easy to put that Social Security record right there on the desk, the payment record showing a birth date of 150 years ago and a check going out to that person this month. There are no privacy rights for dead people. Nothing would prevent Elon Musk from presenting the evidence of that mythical 150-year-old. And if in the hundreds of millions of checks that the Social Security Administration has sent out, amounting to trillions and trillions of dollars over the life of Social Security, what if it has sent out a monthly check for a few years or for 75 years after someone died? How much money would that amount to? Next to nothing in the Social Security budget of the federal government or any other budget in the federal government. But remember, there's absolutely no proof that Elon Musk has found a single record of what he was describing today at Social Security. Donald Trump claims that the federal government has contracts that are supposed to last 3 months, but they keep being paid for the next 20 years. That's what he said today. Show us the contract. Show us the payment for 20 years. It is a lie from Donald Trump until it is proven true and unless it is proven true. The Senate Finance Committee that has jurisdiction over the United States Treasury knows exactly how to investigate such payments. And they know exactly what they're looking at when they look at Treasury records. And the Senate Finance Committee staff has not seen any of this. They're the professionals who know how to evaluate it. After Donald Trump claimed that there are recipients being overpaid by the federal government, he said he thinks there's a lot of kickbacks, to which Musk said, quote, there's a lot of kickbacks. They made that up. They have zero evidence of a single kickback to a single person. They are telling their followers that there are corrupt officials in the United States Treasury who can be bribed to continue paying on contracts that have expired. Elon Musk said today in the Oval Office with Donald Trump's eyes closed while pretending to listen to him, that to cut $1 trillion requires, quote, competence and care. Those were Elon Musk's words. Competence and care. Cutting the entire budget of the United States Agency for International Development is not an example of competence or care. Leading off our discussion tonight is Nicholas Kristof, Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist and opinion columnist for the New York Times. Nick, you have been following the work of USAID throughout your career. You've written brilliantly on it recently. I have been struggling to emphasize to people enough what is at stake right now. We have the reports coming in of people dying. 71-year-old woman denied her oxygen treatments at a hospital run by USAID, which was closed down. She's now dead. We had Dr. Atul Gawande on here last night, who worked for USAID, saying, yes, people have died already because of what Elon Musk has done.
And they're dying every day. I was...
Is titled "For Start for the Workers: Sleeplessness, Anger, and Tears." And senior political columnist for Politico, Jonathan Martin, his piece is titled Americans can and will die from this. USAID workers detail dangers and chaos. I will say, Elizabeth, that when I was told yesterday that I had Elizabeth Miller and J-Mart coming on, I go, this is like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers for politics. To which Alex said, well, yes, but of course, Elizabeth is Fred Astaire. So anyway, you all take that how you want to take it. Now let's go to the very serious here. First of all, Elizabeth, you know, I've been so taken aback by some Democrats who quietly said, "Oh, let's not argue about USAID. You know, people don't care about foreign aid. Let's not." And it seems like, talk about learning all the wrong lessons from the campaign. I know you're a reporter, but just USAID has a lot of programs that need to be taken off the books. But they've done so much good across the world for the United States. And talk about the impact for the people who've been part of helping feed children in Sudan, stopping disease across Africa and other continents.
Well, that's the irony here, that one of the most important things that USAID does is PEPFAR, which was started by a Republican president, George W. Bush. And the irony here again is that Republicans have been some of the biggest supporters of USAID because, as you said, it's a projection of soft power. The U.S. is in parts of the world where it's important to show the flag, especially when China is trying to make inroads. And the other factor here, of course, is that it's less than 1% of the federal budget. Many Americans think that the United States spends 25% of its budget on foreign aid, and that it should be closer to 10%. The reality is it's less than 1%. And we can talk about what this has done to the workers themselves. I mean, they've been fired in the middle of the night by tweets. They've been told with 24 hours to go that their health insurance is running out. And it's been a very frantic scramble for these people, but they say at the same time that their real concern is the people they serve in these foreign countries who are completely left hanging right now.
Yeah, and J.R. Elizabeth points out PEPFAR, 25 million lives saved so far by a George W. Bush program. This is not a far-left program. David Finch was on earlier this week talking about all of the faith-based programs from evangelical churches, from Catholic organizations. This is also, I'm sure there's some left-wing programs here. There are also some faith-based programs here that you would think Republicans would be the first to defend.
Well, certainly in an earlier era, but I think that this is a different time, and this is frankly a more secular party, Joe, than it was.
Russell. I see Russell on.
Oh,
Hey guys.
hello. So Mike was hounding me yesterday, Russ.
Yeah.
About
It happens.
Good. I'll talk. We talk offline.
Okay.
I haven't done in the past, so. Do we have Hafiz now? I don't know who we're all getting today.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Charles is going to join. He may.
Yeah, I tried calling him yesterday. He's not answering anymore. He must be too busy.
Zine may call in, but I'm not sure. So I guess the main topic is the have we heard from our China team as it relates to the perm testing?
I know you're after it, and I'm after those guys. He sent me a message last night that 20 weeks experiment will be completed next Tuesday. So can we discuss with customer at that time, and then they will send the result out next Tuesday.
He doesn't have any results he can share with us so far?
No. He went to the lab and he had no success getting results.
Well, I'll give you a heads up. I talked to Mike yesterday, and I talked to Felix too, and so Russ knows what's going on. Mike wanted the reason they're looking for the results quickly is because for heavy duty, and this is a process that Felix is going to talk to headquarters because I've never heard of this before. Mike wants us to take, I believe we had 15 J4U pipes on test. Is that correct, Office? When they were telling us?
Yeah.
I don't know. We got Magna coming on. Let's go over their stuff first, and then we can talk about this at the end.
Okay. Right. As per process, let me take my attendance first.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know what's your time right now, but...
It's 2 p.m.
2 p.m., okay. What is Jim? So just Craig from Stellantis side?
No, well, here comes Charlie.
Oh.
Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Charlie.
Good morning.
Good. All right, I invited Magna to this meeting just to make sure that we are on track for our delivery in April. How are we looking in for the tooling and stuff? Is it still on track?
So right now the project is for the tools and also for the let's say the organization things is on track, except we see a critical point at the tool for the venting for the vent house. That is a critical point right now. That will take the longest lead time to manufacture, and but currently we are checking the timeline and see how that affects the current status.
So, do you have timing you can share with us, or do you need our support? What is it? Critical point you can support.
Okay, so currently we kicked off the tools Philip help me out. Later than expected. We waited until we received the DVP-NR. Yeah, the signed version. We received the DVP-NR on the 18th, 18th December. And planned was that we start, or that we should kick off the tools on the 7th December. So in this case, we lost already 2 weeks. That's also also one big reason why we are too late at this point. And as well, it's on the 18th. It is closed before Christmas, and a lot of people has already closed, and we that was the reason why, or that is the reason why we are late. Yeah.
What is the timeline?
I would say right now 4 weeks later than expected.
4 weeks later than expected.
Yeah.
I mean, you said December 7th you were expecting the DVPR, and then 2 weeks wasted there. Then it should be 2 weeks, not 4 weeks.
No, because after if we would kick, the supplier had still time for 2 weeks. So we received the DVP-NR close before Christmas, and also the PO on the 23rd before Christmas. And that was definitely a big reason why we kicked off the tools that late, and we have a delay right now here at 4 weeks.
I don't think this is our problem. You need to please figure out how you can provide us the parts. But if there was a delay, you should have informed us earlier. To be honest, this is I pulled up at this meeting, I invited you, and now you're telling me this about this issue. I don't think
you sent us the DVP-NR. You sent us the DVP-NR. You know that you sent us the DVP-NR on the 18th, and
okay, I will look at the emails and timelines. I don't have it handy right now.
I do. Or Philip, maybe you can do it, share it, but you can take a look inside, of course, for sure, later.
Yeah, this is gonna miss our X0 MRD. X0 MRD is April 28th. Anything beyond that is gonna risk our build date.
Well, you didn't mention one component, or what? We need to dial in exactly what the risk is, what the dates are, and if there's any room in there for timing improvement.
No, so Jim, original expected date. Hey Andres, what was the original expected date? April 7th, or
for what?
What was the expected date, delivery date?
For the DVP-NR, or what?
In your original timeline.
So the expected date for the kickoff of the tools was the 7th.
And what was the delivery date according to that timeline?
I have to check. Yeah, go ahead. I will find it, and then I will share it with you right now. So again, your question was the expected delivery date for the tools or for the FOT?
For the parts expected delivery date to Romulus.
So that for the X0. The time
Okay.
what I shared with you was from the what I also have in the PowerPoint presentation where we talked about regarding the DVPNR. There was an expected delivery date for the X0 for the 27th January, but there we kicked off the tools in the September. So
Okay, so
that's really old.
here is my email on the December 17th, where I said, please target the delivery date of April 10th. And if it wasn't possible, you could have responded back that this is not possible at that time. And then if you received on this, let me go back to December 17. I don't think Christmas, it was during the Christmas, or it was still we had a few days until Christmas. So,
yeah,
I mean, so December 7th to 17th, maybe there's a 10 weeks delay as per you say, but that shouldn't impact our timeline by a whole month.
So it should impact?
It should not. So please go back to your tooling supplier, or maybe you're developing your tooling yourself, and see if we can improve this timeline.
We are trying to do our best, yes, but as I said, if there is a chance, we will definitely will use. But right now, I don't see it.
And what is the expected date now?
The expected date for
delivered parts.
So we will get first FOT parts in week CV19. So 1 month later.
19th of?
It is the 5th. So May, 5th May. It's exactly 1 week, 1 month later. Yeah.
May 5th, is it a delivery date?
It is the first the FOT parts. It's the FOT parts which come to us for the venting cap. For the venting.
No,